Coming on to then the SDR role. So fast forward back now. Obviously, you've had your career in the travel industry. Starting as an SDR, I believe you were the number 3 SDR for Redis when you joined.
For the international organization of Redis, yes. So there were 2 incredible high-performing SDRs already across EMEA. So I tried to learn as much as I could from them. But yes, I was the 3rd one. So we were really such a startup. Honestly, no processes or not many. I tried to absorb as much as I could. But to be honest with you, Kyle, the first few months were the most challenging for me because I was really struggling to understand the complexities of Redis and how I can actually, pitch it, as you would call it. I still remember trying to sell the features, and most of the time it didn't work. Okay, it just didn't. So you had to really A/B test, but it was really challenging for me, so much so that I was underperforming and I wasn't hitting my target. And she said to me, here it comes. Here it comes, the performance improvement plan. And there is a ding dong moment in your head and you think, okay,
Oh,
so
no.
I have 30 days. I have 2 options basically here. Okay. One is I could feel really embarrassed about the fact that I have failed and I have let people down who have given me the opportunity to come into this organization and hit the numbers hard, right? And add value with my expertise. Or I could decide that, what? I need to do some reflection. Have I really given this role what it deserves? Have I really pushed hard enough to be successful and make this a great journey? And honestly, the more of these questions I was asking myself, the more the answers were nope, nope, nope. So I decided in my head that, look, I'm just going to make the most of this now and I'm going to focus. I want this. And I committed myself to do this so much so that I in my head, I had a goal that I want to become SDR of the year. So I started this journey in the second half of that year, that very same year, and I became performer of the year. But look, make no mistakes, that was tough. It was a tough journey and I pushed hard. I really focused and I ramped up my activities. Okay, I became more productive. I started thinking outside the box and working with some of the other SDRs. And I was always the first one wanting to go to events and being there as that social bunny. I loved networking. That's where I was really shining. That was my superpower. It still is. That's where I feel most alive. And of course, I was getting more results from phone calls. And I don't call them cold calls. I call them unexpected calls. And video prospecting. I was the first one kicking off the video prospecting project at Redis. And, only 18% of my meetings were coming from that. But that was still, a good result at that point when it was so new. So I did some different things to really get me to that point. Was I the best SDR? No, far away from it. Of course not. But that progress and that improvement that I've made just showcased to me that, look, if I put my mind to anything, everything is possible. You can achieve whatever you want to if you really put your mind to it and you commit. You have to commit to this and just relentlessly, just go through the motion. So many times, Kyle, I see SDRs wanting to progress so fast to that next level. Let it be a closing role, let it be a management role, without even thinking about the fact that, look, you've been here a year, you've done this and you're doing great and you're hitting the numbers. But look, there are different skill sets as well that are going to be required for you to move into this position. So let's become an expert in this role and let's focus on how we can build you up to that next role. And what I did do as an SDR is I started having those internal conversations, right, with people who were coming into the organization, sales leaders, other managers, other SDRs. And this is where you can set yourself up for success. So I think that has also helped me get to an SDR manager position after 2 years of being at Redis. But it takes a village, Kyle. Yes, of course, you have to do it yourself and own it as much as you can. But if you haven't got the right managers and the right leadership and the support that you need in your background, it becomes increasingly harder.